Okay. Let's see if this one works. Hey, good morning. Finally. Seems like it's working now. Hey, good morning. Finally. Seems like it's working now. Let me go into the old stream and post this. Let me go into the old stream. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I am feeling kind of rough around the edges, but I'm kind of excited because Walking Dead premieres tonight. So that is going to be fun. By the way, there will be an additional live stream tonight after the season premiere of Walking Dead, where I will be discussing my thoughts, my reactions, and all that good stuff. So look for that tonight. It'll be about 10:30, 11 o'clock my time. So look for that tonight, but there will be an additional streaming tonight. I'm thinking about doing this as a weekly thing, depending on how the reaction and how the turnout goes for tomorrow night and all that stuff. So should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. For those of you that are wondering, apparently the leak, there was a leak this morning of the person that dies. However, I'm calling bullshit on that leak. Yeah, Eastern time zone for tonight. For a number of reasons that I really won't get to here because it's spoiler filled. But you can just do a simple Walking Dead death leak, and you put it under the time thing where you could select the time, and you could put for today, and you could easily find it. Like, it's all over the internet right now. I think it's bullshit for a number of reasons, simply because of the fact that, God, okay, look, I'm not going to say what it is. I really won't, but if you do a quick examination of it, it's bullshit because they filmed multiple deaths, and the person that they chose to kill on that clip, there's no way in hell that AMC would ever allow something like that. So, well, we'll just leave it like that. We'll just leave it at that, okay? For right now. Oh, no, it's not a rumor. It's an actual full clip. Like, you can see Negan swing the bat and hit somebody's head. You could see the full thing. It's blurry, but it's there. You could see the whole thing. So it's legit. But they filmed multiple deaths. Have I heard about Steve Dillon's death? Absolutely. Yes, I have heard about Steve Dillon's death. Really tragic stuff. We still don't know exactly what it was that killed him. Unfortunately, you know, it's some really, really sad stuff, man. I mean, they haven't released exactly what it is. I hope it's not drugs. I hope it's not anything related to like that. I mean, if it is, then damn, it's a shame. Because Steve Dillon, he was an important artist, whether we realize it or not. Now, he's not the greatest artist in the world, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. Some of his characters do look a lot alike, but still, the fact that he was also the co-creator of Preacher says a lot. And Preacher was huge in the 90s, and it was instrumental in bringing comics into kind of a mature readership for a lot of people. So it sucks that he died. It really does suck. That broke my heart when I heard about it. It wasn't as impactful on me, at least. It wasn't as impactful on me, at least, as Darwin Cook. When Darwin Cook died, you could ask my girlfriend. When Darwin Cook died, I was at the mall when I got the news, and I just sat down and I almost started sobbing. Yeah, when Cook died, man, that broke me as a person, because Cook was so influential and comics. He was one of the greatest artists of pretty much this generation, and I would go as far as to say it's all time. But when he died, man, ooh, killed me. Absolutely killed me. Oh, by the way, if we're talking pickups, I have had an amazing week. What have you guys picked up? I want to hear in the chat. I've had an absolutely astounding week. I just picked up volumes 1 through 27 of Full Metal Alchemist, the box set, for $100. I got it on eBay for $100, so I cannot wait to make my way through that. I've seen the majority of the anime. I have not read the books, though. And I've seen Brotherhood, for those of you that are wondering. I haven't seen the original. But yeah, I've picked up that. I picked up Annihilation for $125, which is cover price, and I picked up Annihilation Conquest for $50. So you want to talk about picking up great deals? This has been a hell of a week for me. Absolutely fantastic week, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a great week for me to pick up books. I haven't had a good week like this in a long time. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna keep going with I Am a Hero. It's not my cup of tea. Let's see. Going to get Irredeemable hardcovers. The second volume, a good read also. I'm almost done with the first volume. I was going to finish it up that night. However, I picked it up and I really wanted to finish Superman American Alien because I want to do a review of it. For those that are wondering, this week's review will be Old Man Logan. I have covered it before, but the video was really crappy. It was terribly done. So I'm going to do a proper review of it. That's going to come out tomorrow for regular reviewers. And for Patreons, that should be up tonight. So yeah, that is going to be this week's review. And then the following week, it's going to be Superman American Alien. Irredeemable lost its luster. Wow. I'm enjoying it so far from what I've read. Fantastic series. I'm thinking about picking up Scalp. Don't think about it. Just pick it up. If you're a fan of Preacher, which I am assuming you are, judging by the little symbol on the screen, absolutely pick up Scalp, man. Pick up the first trailer. Pick it up. The first trailer. Wow. Pick up the first trade. How am I liking Superman American Alien so far? I'm debating about getting it. I mean, it'll kind of ruin my my review, but I'll say this: it's okay. Here's the thing with one shots, and essentially what American Alien is that it's 7 one shots inside of this little book, and I think Max Landis, he does have a grasp on what makes Superman great. There are some really bright, shining moments on it, but for the most part, American Alien for me, it's okay. It's you know, it's nothing groundbreaking or amazing, and you could tell he was probably shooting for his like all-star Superman, but missed it, in my opinion. Not that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually pretty good. I was surprised at how good what it is. What did you think about the Logan trailer? I think it looks great, but looks like they messed up the X-Men timeline again. Man, I gave up on the X-Men timeline again. Honestly, I did. At this point, my mindset with these X-Men movies is that they are all basically just standalone films. I'm like, okay, cool. It's another, X-Men movie. The Logan trailer. Here's the thing about that. I recorded a reaction. I did it. I haven't posted it up yet. And I'll be clear about it because one, I mean, everybody's got their reactions out already on time. Here's the thing about reaction videos: if you don't get them out within like the first, I would say 10 hours, you're not gonna get any traffic on it. Simply because you're not gonna get much traffic on it. Simply because of the fact that all the big websites, you've got your Colliders, your Comic Book Cast, all those guys, they get their shit out within 10 minutes, and then after that, your stuff just gets buried. But if you want my thoughts on it, I couldn't get past the first. Okay, Wolverine happens to be one of my top 5 favorite heroes of all time, and Old Man Logan happens to be my favorite Wolverine story. So I was hyped about it, and I didn't really want to wait for me to do a reaction to it. I would have been honest and said, "Hey, look, I've already seen the trailer, but here's my thoughts on it." But I didn't want to wait to do a live reaction on it, so I actually watched part of it at work, and I got 10 seconds into it before I heard Johnny Cash's "Hurt." And the thing about Johnny Cash's "Hurt" is that song hits me so fucking hard because when I was going through my recovery of depression, and when I was going through suicidal thoughts and all this other stuff, and when I was dealing with some really dark shit, that song was the song that I would play a lot, and it would just, ooh. So when I started listening to it, it triggered some really bad shit just because it's that song. I eventually, I watched it in the afternoon. I recorded a reaction of it. I just haven't posted it. But oh my gosh, man. Whew. Whew, man. Chills. Absolute chills throughout that whole trailer. And it's more the song. Because, you stick hurt and you see just Logan beaten up. His healing factor isn't what it used to be. That song just absolutely gets to you. It's so fucking good. It really is. So it's more the song, I think, that has an impact on it. But I will say this. It definitely looks like The Last of Us meets The Road meets Wolverine. And come award season, if they keep the tone right, and if they keep everything in check, and if this looks as good as it is, we might be hearing some buzz around, award season about Logan. If it keeps the tone and if it's a solid film. Nobody thought Mad Max Fury Road would be actually up for Best Picture or anything like that, but come award season, there it was. It looks like it's a cross between Last of Us, Mad Max, and like a whole bunch of other different stuff, and I'm really excited. Picked up an excellent copy of Simonson's Thor omnibus for $102. Good deal. How much could this be worth? Dude, an amazing deal. Very solid deal, depending on how bad it's damaged, but that is a really, really good deal. Am I a runner? If yes, how many miles do you run in a week? I do about 5 miles a day, and I usually run about 4 or 5 times a week, so about 20, 25 miles. Let's go back. Best way to read Bendis's Daredevil. There are so many trade paperbacks. Get the Ultimate Collections. Have I read The Game by Neil Strauss? I have not. I've heard good things, though. What are your thoughts on X-Men versus the Inhumans? That's more of a question for Riley. He's more of the X-Men guy, but the fact that Marvel is trying to push the Inhumans so much onto us and all this other stuff, and they were trying so hard to kind of make the Inhumans this huge standout series and all this other stuff, and it didn't seem like it worked. But they seem to be refocusing on the X-Men now because they just announced, I think it's called the X-Men in Blue and Gold or something like that this past week. So that will be interesting, and it seems like they're going to harken back to classic 90s stuff. In case you're wondering, I'm not feeling that good, so I'm drinking ginger ale today. My pregnant girlfriend is not feeling well either, and I think I'm catching her bug because my stomach is killing me. New Iceman series? I think Iceman had something in the early 2000s and the early 90s, but it didn't last long. I'm pretty sure he has. How do you manage your budget for omnibuses and single issues? Comics have comics having that issue right now. Want to get a lot, but not enough in the budget. I dropped almost every single issue that I have right now. The only thing in terms of singles that I'm reading, there is a few DC Rebirth titles and like a few Image titles, but aside from that, I've dropped almost everything involving single issues, simply because of the fact that there are so many great omnibuses, hardcovers, and trade paperbacks that are coming out. It is astoundingly ridiculous. Thoughts on Snyder's All-Star Batman? It's okay. It's okay. There's a little bit of the magic missing. The Capullo's not there right now. As far as balancing out for omnibuses and hardcovers, like any adult, man, you have to get an Excel. How I do it is I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I have all my expenses laid out. Here's what the estimated expense for grocery is. Here's what I'm going to be paying for bills this month. Here's what the estimated electric bill will be. Here's what my rent is going to be. And for the most part, that stuff really doesn't change. And this is my budget for comics, and this is my budget for going out and things like that. You have to, this day and age, you have to budget that stuff. You absolutely have to. Harold, you really are just an angry little man. I'm kidding with you, man. I still haven't read much Valiant. I haven't actually had a chance to read Valiant simply because Dude, there's so much I can read. Okay, on release week, I have people asking me, so if you read this omnibus, I'm like, give me a break, give me a chance, to actually sit down with it. I'm a bit of a slow reader, but eventually I get stuff out. I'm not gonna pile drive my way through 700, omnibuses, and I don't speed read. What am I, comic historian? I'm gonna speed read all my books and not get most of it out of there? Kidding, love you, dude. Plus, he's got over 1 million followers. He would crush me. There's a lot of DC Rebirth trade paperbacks coming out in early 2017. Most of the big arcs are coming out of everything pre-ordered except from Batman, Night of the Monster Man, and yeah, there's a lot of DC trade paperbacks that are coming out. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go the hardcover route, which makes me think that they might go the route that Marvel is doing, where they'll release trades, and then once they get like 12 issues together, they'll put it together in a nice little hardcover edition and an oversized one. So I'm wondering if they're going to go that route. So this is how I'm going to do it. Okay. For those of you that care, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning. The last 10 minutes of this live stream, I will dedicate to just the Walking Dead leak and my predictions for tonight's episode. Just giving you guys a heads up, the last 10 minutes, and I will give you all a spoiler warning, so if you want to check out, that's perfectly fine. I understand that. And then you can check out the recap later. All right, just giving you a heads up. Have I read Infamous Iron Man? I have not, although I've heard really, really good things about it. Hope DC do more modern omnis. It's interesting right now what DC is doing, because DC is digging way, way back in their way back machine, and what they're doing is that they're pulling a lot of the classic stuff and they're putting it in omnibuses and they're putting it in collections, and I really like that because I'm a sucker for that stuff. I'm one of those guys that I love reading Silver Age comics. I love reading Golden Age comics. I like seeing where things came from and seeing the progression and seeing the evolution and things like that. I love that stuff. And that is the market that they seem to be targeting a lot lately. Now, it's not for everybody, obviously, because you have people like Harold Lauder who they hate that old stuff. Just kidding. Love you, dude. But you've got people out there that they're just not fans of it. So, DC is definitely targeting that type of audience right now with their omnibuses and with their collections and things like that. Most disappointing arcs of DC Rebirth for me have been Batman, Night of the Monster Man, and Volume 1 of Justice League by Brian Hitch. Not a fan of his writing. He's no Jeff Johns. Well, obviously. Brian Hitch is definitely no Jeff Johns, but he's a solid artist. Which Kirkman series do you prefer, Invincible or Walking Dead? Invincible, especially now that Invincible has an ending, which means Kirkman has a direction to take it in. Which seems like, for a while, it seemed like Walking Dead was spinning its wheels. Is the Preacher comic series better than the TV show? Oh, hell yes. Absolutely. You cannot compare how awesome the Preacher comic series is to the TV show. I made it 4 episodes into the Preacher TV show, and I need to go back and finish it. Wasn't terrible, surprisingly enough. I was really surprised with that, but I really need to go back and finish that season. Yeah, hands down, the Preacher comic is way better than the TV show because they can actually get away with a lot more shit. Will I be getting the Flash Omnibus by Francis Manapul and Brian Buccellato? What I think I'm going to be doing with that is, I think I'm going to be picking it up. I'm not 100% sure on it, simply because I've heard the writing is a bit meh. So I might be picking it up using some of the Patreon funds, and I will be doing a giveaway using that. So I'll be doing a giveaway, and I'll make like a contest out of it. Not just to Patreon guys, but to also regular guys for that one. Yeah, I think season 2 of Preacher will be a lot better. A whole lot better than what season 1 is. For those of you, wow, I'm all messed up right now. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm not feeling that great. For those of you that are wondering, tonight at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time to 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a live stream. It'll be like a quick 30-minute live stream where we'll talk about The Walking Dead and what's going on in the episode. It'll be a post-show discussion. That way, you don't have to sit down and watch the douchebag Chris Hardwick talk about it on Talking Dead. I'm not a fan of Chris Hardwick. But yeah, I will be doing a discussion of that after The Walking Dead. You can also follow me on my Twitter, where I will be live tweeting the whole thing. What are your thoughts on getting an extended cut of Suicide Squad? It was expected. The minute that we knew that wasn't David Ayer's cut, I said, you know what, we're going to get an extended cut of this. Absolutely. We have to get an extended cut of David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So, seems like that's the trend for Warner Brothers now. They know that people will double dip. They might even, do a super deluxe extended cut later on in the next few years or something like that. And they'll probably do that when the Justice League movie comes out. Well, they'll put a nice little collection together where you can get everything that led up to the Justice League movie. What floppies do you still get each month? I read digital. I don't go to my comic shop anymore. It's easier for me. I'm a super busy guy. I have a lot of things going on right now between balancing out work, Patreon, YouTube, between balancing out everything that I've got going on in my life. Digital is so much easier for me. I just download it and I flip through it on my phone whenever I have a chance, or on my laptop. But in terms of digital, I'm still reading Saga, still reading Chew, still reading Seven to Eternity. What else am I reading? Descender by Jeff Lemire is really good. I'm reading that as well. There's a bunch of little series here and there that I'm reading right now on digital. You don't think you could ever drop singles? You know what? I said the same thing. I said there's no way I could ever drop singles for what is essentially just, like digital, and there's no physical copy there. But once I started getting into digital comics, I was like, you know what? This is more convenient for me. This is easier for me to get around. This is easier for me. I don't have to trek my way out to the comic shop every single Wednesday to pick up my books, because there were some weeks where I would go 3 or 4 weeks and I wouldn't pick up my books. And then I'd have like a $70 bill that I'd have to pay for my comics. And I was like, yeah, this is not working for me. Lazarus, I'm not reading in singles anymore. Lazarus, I am reading in hardcovers. I think it reads better. Less double dipping. Exactly. Yeah, a lot less double dipping. Yeah, my shop saves my stuff too. They still do it where you get a subscription service and they pull your books, and sure enough, every Wednesday you've got your books. But it's just so much easier. It really is. And I'm a bit of a night owl, so as soon as midnight hits, boom, digital comics are there, and I could read them if I want at that time. It pisses me off that much more that Suicide Squad is getting an extended cut, because the movie was already out for 30 minutes shorter than Batman vs. Superman. I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing it for money. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, hands down. They cut the movie simply because of the fact that, well, there's a few things why they cut the movie. The movie was cut by trailer people. We know that. And they cut the movie to try and make it more lighthearted and friendly. You could tell they kind of wanted to go the Guardians of the Galaxy route with that, and it blew up in their face. Horribly, by the way. It blew up in their face. And what's interesting about it is that they cut 30 minutes out so they could play it more times in a movie theater, because if you play the movie more times in a movie theater, it'll bring in more money because it can show more screens, right? You get you get only a certain amount of times that you can play a movie during the day before the theater has to close down. So if you cut down 30 minutes out of it, you can play the movie more times and people will go see it more. So there's a few things. That whole movie was weird, though. That whole production company was weird. There was a lot of things that were definitely not right that were going on there. I personally don't think it's David Ayer's fault. I think a lot of that has to do more Warner Brothers than David Ayer. Because I think David Ayer is a competent director. He's a very good director. He's made a lot of good movies. Is Robert Kirkman a genius? He seems like he's pretty smart. No, I don't think he's a genius. I think he got lucky, if that makes sense. I think Kirkman, he's a solid writer, but I think he's more lucky than anything else. Because when Walking Dead first came out, the zombie trend was at its apex. And he just rode that wave. And I'm talking about the TV show. When the Walking Dead TV show came out, the zombie peak was like right there, was right at the top. You had, World War Z was in theater. People were still playing a lot of, what's that zombie game that Valve put out? Left 4 Dead was really still popular, and it was a really big game on Steam. People were really digging zombies at that point, and Walking Dead, it was just one of those things that it hit right at the right time, and people are still riding it. But the thing is, the zombie trend has died down since then, so we'll see what happens. My favorite character in The Walking Dead is Negan. I love Negan, man. He's such a he's such a great bad guy. He's really unpredictable. Hey, love your channel. Can you do how to start reading Iron Fist video? I want to get to know the character more for the upcoming Netflix show, which looks amazing, by the way. It does. It really does. And as far as that video goes, I can tell you right now where to start. Iron Fist, the best place for somebody to start that has absolutely no clue about Iron Fist, pick up Matt Fraction and Ed Brubaker's run on Iron Fist. And I know, Harold, you absolutely detest Matt Fraction. But pick that up. It's really great. You don't need to know anything about the character. You don't need to know about anything about the history. What it is essentially Matt Fraction and Ed Brubaker did Mortal Kombat, but with Iron Fist. Really good stuff. On In-Stocks Trades, it tells you the day new books come out. What about the time? Some variants sell out in hours. In-Stock Trades usually updates their stuff around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that's on Wednesdays. For those of you that are wondering, it's usually around 3 o'clock. So I will always recommend around 2:45, 2:30-ish. You start looking at In-Stock Trade and you start refreshing the page every 5-10 minutes just to be sure you can get what you want. That's how I'm able to pick up the stuff I want. Do I believe the spoilers? Walking Dead lost so much in the TV show. Not watching anymore, but that's because the twist tonight seems like a bad way to switch bait the watchers. If you can, believe the spoilers. I'll get more into that towards the end of the show. Like I said, the last 10 minutes will be dedicated to just Walking Dead spoilers of what's going to happen tonight, as well as the leaked footage that was dropped this morning about who dies. So I'm not going to get into that now, simply because of the fact that I know a lot of people here are spoiler sensitive and they don't want to go into it. Yo, Hardcover, it's been a while. What's up? Hey, what's up, Eddie? How you doing, man? Hope everything's going well with you, buddy. Yeah, Matt Fraction was co-writing with Ed Brubaker during the Iron Fist run, and come on, it's Ed Brubaker. Matt Fraction isn't fit to staple Ed Brubaker's comics. That's how good Ed Brubaker is compared to Matt Fraction. And Fraction, he's good in his own right, but he's not amazing. He's a solid dude. Yeah, Tim Miller left Deadpool too. That was interesting. That was crazy. I was like, oh man, I'm wondering who they're gonna get now to be the director, and that makes me a little bit nervous simply because Tim Miller, it was a passion project. So that's kind of got me a little bit uneasy. Oh no, the reason that run is so great is because of Ed Brubaker. Ed Brubaker is one of the top guys in the industry right now. He's actually working on Westworld right now, which, holy balls, if you are not watching Westworld, sweet Christmas, Westworld is so good. I don't know what you're doing if you're not watching Westworld. Amazing show. Oh my goodness, Westworld is so good. It's fantastic. If you had to pick Crossed or The Walking Dead, Walking Dead. The Joker or Doom, better villain, Doom. Absolutely love Doom. Hey, Dragon Ball's Deep. By the way, did you see Dragon Ball Super, the new episode, Dragon Ball's Deep? So great. Finally showing my boy Vegeta some love. I'm thinking about doing a podcast with a buddy of mine discussing Dragon Ball Super every week. Walking Dead for sure. Yeah, Walking Dead is a lot better than Crossed. I happen to think the stories are a lot better. I happen to think they are a lot better. Oh, Westworld! You owe it to yourself you owe it to yourself to watch Westworld. Ed Brubaker's one of the main writers on there, and it's Anthony Hopkins, man. Come on, it's got an all-star cast. It's so fucking good. I like the Flash from DC Rebirth. One downside is the artwork, though not as good as past Flash titles. Man, I'm all messed up today, like I said. I hope it gets better. Joshua, I think that's Joshua Williamson is the guy's name. I've said this for years. Joshua Williamson is one of those guys that he has been up and coming, and he has been trying to make a name. He's hungry, and I am hyped to see what that guy puts out next. Joshua Williamson is such a freaking boss writer right now. He's so good. He really is. We're talking Nailbiter, Flash. What's that other book that he's got right now? That book where the kid comes back and he's been gone for so long. He comes back as like this badass warrior. He is such a freaking great talent right now. I love Joshua Williamson's work. And his Flash series is so good. If you haven't gotten a chance, pick up Ghosted, which is a series that he was writing for a while that nobody was paying attention to. Oh my God, it's so good. Ghosted is such an underrated and underappreciated series, in my opinion. That's one of those Image titles that nobody was reading, and I was reading it every single month. I was looking forward to it. It's done already. It's like 4 or 5 trades, if I'm not mistaken, and it's all done. It's such a solid series. Is there a political reality graphic novel? Not necessarily reality, but I always recommend for somebody that's interested in politics to read Ex Machina by Brian K. Vaughan. What essentially it is that it is superheroes meets the West Wing. So if that's something that piques your interest, what happens is that this guy named, I think his name is Mitch 100. It's been such a freaking long time. Michael 100, something like that. Something ridiculous like that. He is a superhero, and essentially he wins the mayor position of New York. And it gets into politics, and it gets into controversies and things like that. And how would you balance out being a former superhero and being a politician at the same time? Really fascinating series and really great. It's probably the second best thing, in my opinion, that Brian K. Vaughan's ever done, right behind Y the Last Man. Mitchell 100. Think Mitchell 100. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it was. It's been so long since I've read it. And I read that in singles. Who do you think is going to win, Trump or Hillary? I don't talk about politics on my channel. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to be mean or anything. There's so much crap out there. Comics are comics, and this is what this channel is dedicated to. I avoid politics like the plague. Yeah, definitely. Watch Westworld. If you haven't seen Westworld, absolutely. Have you read Batman Detective Comics Volume 1, Faces of Death? Is that the New 52 one? In that case, I haven't. Never read Superman Red Sun. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Superman Red Sun is great. I love Superman Red Sun. It's an Elseworlds tale. For those of you that have never read Superman Red Sun, it's a great little standalone story, and it's written by Mark Millar. And essentially, what Red Sun is that instead of Superman landing in Kansas during the 1990s or 1980s or whenever the hell it is that he lands and is raised by Mom and Pa Kent, he lands in Soviet Russia during the Cold War. Awesome. And he's raised by Joseph Stalin and all this other stuff. And Batman is like this Russian military like antagonist where he's a revolutionary. Oh my God, it's so good. Superman Return is so good. A friend of mine is a cousin of Greg Land. He threatened to fuck you up for dissing him. I'm really surprised I haven't gotten a message from Greg Land. Have you watched Banshee? Feels very similar to Scalped. I haven't. I'm looking forward to Legion. Legion looks really good, and it's set in the X-Men universe. That looks really, really good. I generally don't like Miller, but I love Red Sun. I would recommend if you're not a fan of Mark Millar, you should try his Jupiter's Legacy stuff. That whole Jupiter universe is really good. I've heard Huck is good. I still need to read that. What else has Millar put out recently that I've heard is good? Reborn, the first issue, I've heard it's really strong as well. Of course, Greg Capullo's art. Come on. Have you read Batman? Have you read Jason Aaron's run on Wolverine? And did you like the Logan trailer? Yeah, I've already talked about the Logan trailer today. For those of you that are wondering, quick synopsis if you came in late. Fantastic trailer, really well cut. Now we'll have to see if it was just a really good trailer because trailers lie. We saw that this year with Suicide Squad. They had Bohemian Rhapsody on that trailer, and I was hyped as hell for it. I thought, wow, this is going to be really good. It actually looks like a fun movie. And then we ended up watching it, and not that good. But I'm really hyped for it. It was a really good trailer. Definitely a great tone. I wish Jim Lee was doing artwork on more DC comic titles. Sad he is not the same with Gary Frank. Isn't Jim Lee doing like only the first 12 pages of every single Suicide Squad book simply because he's Jim Lee and he's super busy and the man can't keep up a schedule to save his life? That's the last thing I heard, that Jim Lee is only doing 12 pages of the Suicide Squad book and then somebody else gets the other half. I don't know what they're going to do with Legion. Does he exist in both universes? No, Legion is just on Fox. He's part of the X-Men universe. That's all he is. Do you think DC will get around to releasing deluxe editions for Jeff Lemire's Animal Man and Jeff Johns' Aquaman? There was a Jeff Johns' Aquaman omnibus solicited, I think it was last year, but it was canceled. As far as Jeff Lemire's Animal Man Deluxe Edition, I'm absolutely surprised that we still have not seen a Jeff Lemire Animal Man Deluxe Edition, simply because we've gotten Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing Deluxe Edition, and they pretty much tie into each other really heavily, especially when you start getting into the Rot World stuff. And that's crazy to me that we still haven't gotten anything like that. What are my thoughts on Doctor Strange? So far, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's going to drop within the next few weeks before release. But from everything I've heard so far, and I follow the main writer of the movie, C. Robert Cargill, on Twitter, and pretty much a lot of his friends, because he's one of those guys that if you were growing... C. Robert Cargill used to be on a little website called Spill.com, and I was following those guys for a long time, and now they've gone, and a set of them have this website called One of Us, another set does Double Toasted, and all this other stuff. And a lot of his friends and a lot of the people that he's, that I follow through Twitter and through Facebook, they all say they love it. And the general buzz is that it's really good. It's visually crazy, which is what I wanted because it's a Steve Ditko comic. And that if you're a fan of the source material, you'll be pleased. So I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange. I have my IMAX tickets pre-ordered. Whoop, whoop. And I'll be there opening day with my lovely girlfriend, and we're going to go watch it. So I'm excited. Am I expecting anything amazing? Not really. I'm expecting more of a visual feast and, the typical Marvel thing. And everybody's saying pretty much the general Marvel consensus that they say for pretty much everything. Marvel is that the villain is weak, but everything else is good. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm happy with that. Is it weird that Jim Lee's artwork reminds me of Rob Liefeld's art? No, not at all. not at all. Simply because they came out around the same time. Only difference is that Jim Lee has been able to stay relevant, and he's been able to evolve his style enough. Now he hasn't changed that much, but he's able to evolve his style enough that he's been able to kind of stay in mainstream media and be relevant. And you stick Jim Lee's name on a book, it's gonna sell. Yeah, Jim Lee's toned it down though. Rob Liefeld just doesn't give a fuck. He still has the same style he had in the 90s, which is why he gets a lot of hate. But, everything I've heard is that the guy's actually a really nice guy. Bit of an ass, but he's a nice guy. Who isn't an ass these days, though, right? I'm an ass. Good morning, Dawsomness. So, why Fox working with Marvel then? I bet Marvel got something back. What do you think? I imagine Marvel's getting a cut out of Legion. I imagine they have to be getting something back. They have to. What is the best Image comic series? The best Image comic series going right now. Image is putting out so many great things, but I would have to say, my opinion, it's a tie right now between Southern Bastards and Lazarus. With Lazarus inching out, man. Just Lazarus is so good. I love the world. I love the world of Lazarus. Derek, you haven't missed much, buddy. Just about 30 minutes. I should be on for about another 30 minutes as well, with the last 10 minutes being talking about Walking Dead, potential spoilers, and the leak this morning about who dies, the quote-unquote leak, but I have my suspicions that's just AMC messing with us. So, but I'll give a spoiler warning to everybody before that happens. Yeah, Image has so much crap coming out that it's absolutely impossible for anybody to keep up. Once again, just plugging it. I know a lot of you guys have probably already heard in the chat, but if you're coming into this late tonight, I will be doing a live stream after the Walking Dead season premiere. That'll be about 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It'll be just about 30, 20 minutes where I'll talk about the show, talk about my thoughts. You can also follow me on Twitter to get my live reaction for the premiere. I'll be tweeting about it the whole way through. Thoughts on Gary Frank's artwork? I like his Superman artwork. He draws Superman like Christopher Reeve from the Richard Donner films. Yes. Yes, I love Gary Frank's artwork. Yeah, fantastic stuff, man. Maybe they got Galactus and Silver Surfer back. Feige can't. Feige been trying it forever. Yeah. I would say the X-Men would be huge if Marvel were to get them back. But if they were to get the Fantastic Four rights back, you got to think what they would be getting back. They would be getting a whole bunch of villains back out of that. They'd be getting Galactus. They would be getting, what else? They'd be getting Annihilus. If they could get the Fantastic Four rights, you would get your Annihilation movie. Guaranteed. If Marvel could somehow, and they can, I know they can, because they're not using the Fantastic Four, and the Fantastic Four is a box office bomb, and Fox has no clue what they're doing with it. I am telling you right now, if they can get the Fantastic Four movie rights, you would get an announcement within the year that they're doing an Annihilation movie with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That is the only reason we haven't been able to do an Annihilation movie, because they don't have a Nihilus. That's so disappointing. Hardcover, have you ever met a rude fan? No, actually I haven't. I've only met 2 people in real life that were fans of me. One of them was a security guard. The other one was at the school that I work at. A kid just walked by and said, "Hey, to Hardcover." I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" But for the most part, no, I haven't met any fans in real life that have been rude to me. I'm not that big of a channel yet, but I'm getting there. It's getting there, I have high hopes. I'm optimistic for things. You have to be this day and age. Have I read Berserk? I have not. Although I have heard great things. I just picked up, like I said, it's been a hell of a good week for me, because I just picked up the full collection of Full Metal Alchemist volumes 1 through 27 in the box set, like a nice little beautiful box set. And I'll be doing a preview video of that soon once I get it. I picked it up yesterday for $100. I also snagged Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest. I snagged Annihilation for cover, which is $120, and I snagged Conquest for $50. Hell of a steal. Oh my god. And it's such a great time to pick it up, because War of Kings comes out in 2 weeks. Such a great pickup. No hype for the Daredevil Blu-ray next month? No, absolutely no. Simply because of the fact that there's no special features on it. Everything that I've heard is that there are no special features on the Daredevil Blu-ray. Why am I going to pick it up? I have Netflix. There's no point. So it looks a little bit better on my TV, and I have it on my shelf? No. That's double dipping for no reason. It's a waste of money. I was really disappointed with that. Any experience with Spawn comics? Total schlock, but I rather enjoy the first 3 trades. Guilty pleasure. No experience with Spawn other than when I was a kid. You know, when you're a kid, you pick up Spawn comics, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. He's killing people left and right. There's not much story here, but hey, it looks really cool. You know, it's not really too much experience with Spawn. I've heard he's had a few good writers on there other than Todd McFarlane that have done some cool things with it, but nothing. I just got Age of Apocalypse on me. Did you pick that up from Francis in the Facebook group by any chance? Because she was selling it for a really good price. I was thinking about snagging that, but at the same time, I was looking at the Full Metal Alchemist collection, and I was like, yeah, I'll go with Full Metal instead. Brubaker's Captain America Omnibus. When will all 5 be available? Oh, I'd like to know that too. I would like to know that. Because I want to get my hands on those as well. Somebody was selling them on eBay like a few weeks ago, for I think it was about 500, 600 bucks, and I was this close to pulling the trigger on it. I didn't do it. I absolutely didn't, simply because I would be murdered in my sleep by my loving girlfriend. Justifiably. Yeah, please don't. I don't want to hear about that, Harold. Please don't bring that up. There are some things that I would prefer you don't talk about, especially on a beautiful Sunday morning like this. You know, I'm assuming you're young, so there are just some things that you just don't bring up. It's really messed up. Yeah, his run is 5 omnibuses long. It's that long of a run. He was writing Cap for 8, 7 years, maybe? I forgot, man. I forgot how long he's writing it, but he was writing Cap for a while. It's ridiculous how long he was writing Captain America for that long. And a lot of the omnibuses are massively out of print. I think Death of Captain America is out of print, and I think Return is out of print as well. Which I don't know why we still don't at the very least have ultimate collections of his run. You'd think Marvel would jump on that. So, you know. Thoughts on Jason Aaron's Punisher run? I haven't read it, and I just sold the omnibus off to somebody this week simply because I needed the extra cash, because next week we get absolutely fucking everything. Thanks, Marvel. God. All right, here's a rundown of what we are getting next week in terms of omnibuses. We're getting the direct market variant of Shang-Chi Master of Kung Fu, Volume 2. We're getting the War of Kings omnibus. We're getting the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu omnibus. We're getting Nailbiter Volume 5. We're also getting the Outcast hardcover. What is going on? Everything gets dropped November 1st. It is crazy. Hey, Manga. By the way, Manga, I picked up the Full Metal set. I know I talked to you on Twitter about it, but I ended up buying it for $100. I had to get it. It was such a great price for that little box set. I'm just getting into comics so far. I've only read... Oh, no. That week is going to fucking kill me. Something's got to give. I'm not going to order the Outcast hardcover. I'm not going to order Nailbiter Volume 5. I think the only thing I'm picking up that week, simply because of budget, because I can't afford everything, I would die, is the War of Kings omnibus and the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu omnibus. I think that'll be what I pick up that week. And I've already got my Shang-Chi Volume 2 on pre-order from Tales of Wonder. I've got the direct market variant already pre-ordered. Do you have a favorite? Are you picking up the new X-Men omnibus reprint? I'm not. I have the Ultimate collections. I don't see the need to upgrade. Best film adaptation of a graphic novel. I'd say Road to Perdition. A lot of people don't realize that Road to Perdition is actually a comic. It was actually a comic first. Really great adaptation. I'd say Road to Perdition is probably the best adaptation. Like from a straight graphic novel to a movie, that's probably it. Now, I would say Road to Perdition is a little bit better than Sin City. Sin City directly is translated, but I would say as a whole, I like Road to Perdition a lot better. History of Violence? History of Violence is good. History of Violence is really, really good. Would I rather apologize to Chris Weeb or Greg Land? Chris Weeb. What is a non-superhero comic that I would like to see become a movie? See, that's kind of hard, simply because of the fact that comics are more of a long-form reading. Yes, you have your like little graphic novels here and there, but if I were to pick something that I'd like to see made into a movie, damn, that's really tough. There was a really good comic a few years ago called Rasputin that documented the attempted assassination of Gregory Rasputin in a beautiful little hardcover collection that I would like to see made into a film. And they could do it too. Really great little collection. Yeah, Derek, Scalped is becoming a TV show on WGN. Thanks, Kenneth. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Which Flash runs would you recommend? Mark Waid's Flash, Grant Morrison's Flash is good, and Jeff Johns' Flash, just to get you started off. Jeff Johns' Flash being the run that I would say just go ahead and start. Yeah, they ordered a pilot. And they're also working on a Southern Bastards TV show. That should be out pretty soon as well. Mouse would be good. Mouse would be very good. That's a good choice. Although I've never read it, but I've heard about it. Mouse is one of those things that I haven't gotten a chance to read it, and all my comic friends that are like real big into comics are like, how the fuck have you never read Mouse? Like, you're hardcover reviews and you never read Mouse? I'm like, yeah. I haven't sat down with it. I've also never read From Hell. Would you like to see Punk Rock Jesus on the big screen? It'll never happen. I would love to see it. I would love to see Punk Rock Jesus on the big screen, and I would love to see Punk Rock Jesus on yeah, but it'll never happen on as a TV show. Me being an atheist, I would like to see it, you know. No, I'm not going to get into religious talks here. Just throwing that out there. Transmetropolitan TV show would kick ass. Transmetropolitan would be good. WGN, I don't know, because don't WGN they do just reruns of like Moesha and like old TV shows that nobody gives a damn anymore? Isn't that what they do now? And like All in the Family and all that stuff. WGN hasn't been relevant in years. What about Manipul's Flash? The omnibus is coming out soon. I've heard mixed things. Let's talk about that. I've heard mixed things for a while about Manipul's Flash. I've heard the writing isn't great, but the art is really what sells it. So I might pick it up for that, and I'll just do like a giveaway. I've read Mouse twice, and surprisingly, I went through it really fast. Is it good? I mean, I've heard, you hear all the praise, like, from high-minded comic book artists and reviewers and things like that, and, all that stuff. But then you hear about the same thing about Chris Ware, and I can't stand his work. But is Mouse really that good? Because I'll pick it up and I'll read it sometime. Ooh. All right, so in about 5 minutes, I'm going to start the Walking Dead talk, just giving you guys a heads up. I will, of course, warn you all about spoilers, so that way those of you that don't want to stick around, you could just leave, and that's perfectly understandable. But yeah. Mouse is a heavy read. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Mouse is a really heavy read. And my cat's being really annoying right now. And that's Arya. Yes, she's named Arya from Game of Thrones. Because we're big nerds in this house. Have I read Gail Simone's Secret 6 run before the New 52 run? No, I haven't. I have not. I've heard good things, and I have the first 2 trades, but I haven't sat down and read them. Right now, I'm currently reading... What am I reading right now? I'm about to finish up American Alien. Then I'm going to jump into... What am I reading? I'm going to jump into Full Metal Alchemist once all that stuff comes through in the mail. And then I'm going to sit down, and I think I'm going to read through the classic Spider-Man run. I think that's what's up on the docket. Does The Walking Dead TV show directly follow the comics? It does not. The Walking Dead TV show verges off into its own place. So if you want to read the comics, you can. However, be warned, sometimes they take little bits in here and there from the comic into the TV show. Sometimes they don't. Things like that. Lock and Key getting another try, please. What do you mean? Oh, Lock and Key TV show. A Lock and Key TV show has... There's talks of a movie, and Joe Hill has said that they've struck a deal with somebody to do a movie. So that's in the works right now. How that's going to work, I don't know. I think Lock and Key would kind of benefit from... You know what? No. Lock and Key can be done. Lock and Key can be done if they do it in 3 movies, kind of like the Master Editions. Ooh, that's right. I have the Master Editions on order. The Master Editions should be here next week as well. Lock and Key can be done if they do it in 3 movies, and you take every single Master Edition and you have it as its own movie. So you'd get Volume 1, Welcome to Lovecraft, I think is the first volume. Then Volume 2, Head Games, and then you keep going from there. And that'll be 1 movie. Have I watched Westworld? Yes, I talked about it earlier. I can't get enough of Westworld. The theories are flowing all over the place. I'm crazy about Westworld right now. Have you read Wolverine Enemy of the State? Thoughts? I haven't. I've heard good things. I've heard if you're really into Wolverine, that is a great place to start, and you don't really need to know much about the character, but it's solid and you'll have a good time reading it anyway. I need to get up on that, and I need to read that. But if you're looking for a great place to start reading Wolverine, Old Man Logan. Oh, here she goes. She's starting with the squeaker. All right. So simply because I'm in a bit of a crunch time today and all that other good stuff, I am going to start the Walking Dead spoilers right now. Warning you guys right now, we're getting into spoilers, and I'm going to give you guys, it's 9:23. I'm going to give you guys about a minute to bail out for those of you that want to bail out, because we're going to be talking about some heavy shit. Just giving you guys a heads up. Once again, check out the Patreon, guys. You can find it. Hardcover reviews. Guys, really, the Patreon is the reason why this channel is still alive, and I actually was recording a video explaining why that is, but in short, I wouldn't have been able to keep this channel alive because of my crazy work schedule and all that stuff. So because of Patreon, I was able to leave my second job, and I'm able to keep this channel alive, and I'm able to work on this as a part-time thing. So check that out, patreon.com/hardcoverreviews. Follow me on Twitter, where I will be live tweeting the Walking Dead season premiere tonight, and tonight I will be doing a live stream after the Walking Dead show. That should be around 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where I will be discussing with you guys the Walking Dead season premiere. So check that out. It'll be on this channel. And yeah, check out all that good stuff. Take it easy, guys. I will see you later for those of you that want to bail out. So yeah, It is 9:24. Those of you that are sticking around, here is the warning. Okay, let's talk. Okay, so the leaked footage that was released today. Apparently there was some leaked footage that showed Maggie being the one that took the bat to the head. You can easily find that on by typing in Walking Dead leaked Maggie death. Here's the thing about that. There is no way in hell, there is absolutely no way in hell Walking Dead is going to show a pregnant woman getting her head beaten with a bat. No way. They would not allow it. The backlash they would get is absolutely crazy. There's no way they would allow that. We do know that they filmed multiple deaths before. We do know that they filmed multiple deaths so that if anything got leaked out or anything like that, it could throw people off. We do know that they filmed that. What I think this is that I think that's one of those multiple deaths that they filmed and it was leaked out by somebody that works at Walking Dead, or it was leaked out by AMC to throw off everybody into thinking that Maggie was the one that gets the bat. Here's the reason why. Spoiling Dead for months on end has been tracking every single episode of The Walking Dead as they film it, and they've been tracking who's been recorded on set. The two people that have not been recorded on set past episode 1 are Glenn and Abraham. That was leaked out. That was leaked out by people, and everybody was like, well, now it's obvious it's a double death. It's going to be Glenn and it's going to be Abraham. And the script, that part was leaked out months ago. So because of that, AMC probably, and I'm getting into crazy conspiracy theory, AMC, what more than likely that they did was that they dropped this little clip, they popped it on the internet and said, well, this is the actual death. It was like leaked. It was, shitty cam filmed and all that stuff. And everybody's thinking, okay, this is the actual death to throw people off. That's my theory on it. That's what I think is going on. Because, there have been reports already that Maggie's been seen on set for more than the first episode. We're not dumb, AMC. I'm sorry. So that's probably what ended up happening. And I'm still sticking with the fact that it's going to be Glenn and Abraham, simply because of the fact they are the only characters that have been recorded on set for only one episode, episode 1. And after that, nothing. So it's going to be Glenn and Abraham. And the fact is, it's going to be Glenn and Abraham. And what's going to happen is that Abraham's going to take the bat. He's going to give one of his little Abraham quotes or whatever it is, suck my nuts or something like that, Bisquick, all that stuff. And then Daryl walks in, intervenes, punches Negan. Negan gets pissy. He ends up picking Glenn. Glenn dies. That is what's going to happen tonight. That's been leaked for a while, though, and that seems to be the thing that everybody's leaking out. And the fact is that AMC, in a way, shot themselves in the foot when the season 6 finale ended. Here's why. AMC dropped the season 6 finale, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, this is amazing, and a lot of people really freaking hated it, including myself, and they thought it was a cop-out. So they did that, and they must have known. They must have known that a lot of this stuff would get leaked out. Walking Dead is one of those things that they have the most diehard fans. And people have been snapping photos of people on the set. They must have known that something like that was going to get leaked out. So it was a stupid move on their part. It really was. So now that it's like, well, shit, a lot of our big surprises leaked out. Let's drop this Maggie thing online this week. We'll do a shitty cam recording of it, and it'll throw people off. Maybe we'll be able to fool a few people, and that'll be it. But come on. Come on. They're not going to kill Maggie. There is no way in hell AMC would allow some TV show, even if it is Walking Dead, to beat a pregnant woman with a bat. There is no way. It is not going to happen. The backlash that you would get, not only the backlash, but they just won't do it. They will not do it. It's clickbait. That's what it is. It's clickbait. And the fact is it's working because it's got people talking online. It's working. People are eating it up, and it's got people talking online. And tonight, I guarantee you the Walking Dead premiere will be the biggest premiere that the show's ever had, and chances are one of the biggest premieres of TV of all time. It worked. It worked. People are buying into it. Hell, I'm buying into it. I want to see it. I want to see what happens. After the first 5 minutes, though, when they show who gets killed, I'll probably lose a lot of interest in it, but I'll be live tweeting it, and I'm going to be interested. But yeah, that's essentially what is going on. That's basically what happened, and that's genuinely what I think is going to happen. Now, as far as like other leaks that have been leaked out, you know, there's been things here and there. There was the trailer that was released where it shows that Negan gets the hatchet and all this stuff. Apparently there were more leaks. Again, I warned you guys, spoilers. I warned you guys that we're going to be talking about spoilers. Apparently there were more leaks where Negan actually grabs Carl. He puts his hand like on a rock or something like that, and he tells Rick, I want you to cut his hand off. He's like, I want you to cut his hand off. And then Negan's like, and just before Rick does it, Negan tells him to stop because he's broken Rick. That's interesting. That I like. I like that more than the double death thing. Simply because I think the double death is like a thing where they ran into so much crap at the end of that season that they were like, well, shit. Now we have to do something to top ourselves. So what's the easy way out? Let's do a double death. You know, it'll get people talking. It'll shock people. Oh, my God, they killed 2 people on The Walking Dead. They've never done that. I'm like, okay. All right, buddy. Yeah, why don't you watch Red Wedding from Game of Thrones? Huh? Why don't you watch that? Because Red Wedding was... Red Wedding fucked me up for Game of Thrones fans out there. I watched Red Wedding, and I could not finish the rest of the season until about a year later. And all this stuff about, you know, like Make a Path presents. I don't know how many diehard Walking Dead fans are out there that watch his channel and all this stuff where he's staring into the camera like a post-traumatic stress, like some Vietnam soldier with PTSD. Just, it'll change your life forever. I've never seen anything as graphic as that. Like, dude, come on, man. All that stuff is so dumb for me. I'm just like, all right, come on, pal. It's a TV show, you know? Game of Thrones is everything The Walking Dead thinks. Yeah, because Game of Thrones has balls. Game of Thrones gives no fucks. They will kill off a character easily. It's not going to be Maggie. It really isn't. That whole leak this morning was put out by AMC to throw people off because we've known for months who it is. We've known for a long time who they're going to kill off. Hell, you have the actor that is Glenn. He is off filming other things while people are filming Walking Dead. He is off filming another movie while the people on set of Walking Dead are filming. He's tweeting about it and Instagramming it. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. All that stuff is crazy. But yeah, guys, I mean, tonight, like I said, I will be live tweeting it. Follow me on Twitter. I'll be talking about it through there. If you haven't followed me there, absolutely follow me and all that good stuff. Look for my review out for... No, if The Walking Dead really wants to prove they have balls, there is one character that they need to kill off. If they want to prove they will kill anybody off, they need to kill Daryl. They will not do it. They won't do it. Simply because of the fact that Daryl brings in a huge audience. They won't do it. They will not kill him off. You remember how badass Oberyn Martell was in Game of Thrones, the Viper? The Viper would have easily still been alive if this had been AMC. They would have changed the plot around. They would have said, yeah, the Viper brings in too many people. He's too awesome of a character. There's no way we can kill him off in the first season he's in. No. Game of Thrones busted his head open like a grapefruit the first chance they got. They're not going to do that with Daryl. They're not going to kill him off. They're going to break him mentally this season. That's what they're going to do. With the whole, like, because of him, Glenn dies. That's what they're going to definitely do. They're going to do that. I can guarantee you that. They're going to break him mentally where he's going to be like the guy from Make a Path Presents on like his YouTube channel. He's going to be like, he's going to have like PTSD the whole season. You know, he's going to be shaken up and he's going to be mentally broken, but you know. Yeah, Rob Stark was my dude, man. Ugh, yeah. And what's the name of that little boy when oh my wow, I can't believe I'm blanking on the fucking name. I, I'm blanking on names right now. What the hell's going on with me? The Battle of the Bastards, when that kid was running and I just kept yelling at the screen, serpentine pattern. Hey, see, man, we're just ending the stream right now, man. All right, so yeah, live streaming tonight after. Yeah, Rob Stark was my dude. All right, live stream tonight after Walking Dead. That'll be around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. It won't be that long simply because I work the next day. That'll be about 30 to 20 minutes. So check that out. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Twitter, Hardcover Review. I will be tweeting the entire thing tonight. I will be tweeting through the premiere. You just missed it. We're done with spoilers. I just finished. I just finished my little spoiler rant. You catch the replay of this. It'll be up in a few minutes. But yeah, check me out. Hardcover Review on Twitter. Follow me. I'll be live talking about, live tweeting the premiere and all that good stuff along with pretty much everybody else. I'll be doing a live stream tonight talking about the premiere as well after the show. So check that out as well. Follow me through Facebook, Twitter. Follow me on Patreon. Guys, really, Patreon is the way that I'm able to do this. I appreciate those of you that have subscribed. Let's get to the $100 mark, guys, simply because I will be doing a giveaway to Patreon subscribers, and all you need to do is pledge $1, and you can get an omnibus hardcover or trade paperback by yours truly. I'll even sign the damn thing if you want. But yeah, check that stuff out. Patreon.com/hardcover review. Love you guys. Have a great week. Watch out. I'm going to be filming a lot of crap today. So, bye.